So I'm on the BJJ Fanatics website, and I see 3 new videos by some guy named Thomas Radzinski. You familiar with that guy at all?
Nope, absolutely not.
No? Well, he's got some good stuff. Three brand new videos. They're getting amazing reviews, which is good to see as well. But you got to tell us about them real quick?
Yeah, I had, you guys already know, but I had opportunity to go to Boston, shoot 3 more instructionals, 1 on butterfly hook, complete guide for butterfly hook, 2 wrap, lapel, and submit them, and 3 we have taking the back. It's particularly designed for guys for over 40 because there's no climbing involved. All the back takes are on the ground. Very, very full and effective system. So dip into it. I'm really hoping that this is going to help your jiu-jitsu and really take it to the next level.
BJJfanatics.com. Just search ROZDZ. We have all had that situation where after class is when we want to ask a question. And Thomas, a lot of those questions you've already answered, right, at Ask a Black Belt.
Yeah, it's another podcast that I'm running. It's on podcast, all podcast platforms, plus on YouTube. You can find it anywhere. Just search for my name. Search for Ask a Black Belt. At this point, over 100 episodes, different questions, jiu-jitsu, life-related, but something that everybody comes across, and often these questions sink in our mind, but we don't ask for whatever reason. So if that benefits you, go there, listen. It actually might help your jiu-jitsu, might help your life as well. And if you have any questions, find me on Instagram and drop me a line. I'll be happy to answer your question and mention your name during the episode.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
Recording, are you?
I'm recording. We are live.
I didn't see the countdown.
Well, whose fault is that?
I didn't see the 3, 2, 1.
Maybe you need to pay attention.
All right. Start over.
No, we already started.
We didn't start.
We don't do start overs.
I know, that's fun. I like leaving that stuff in there.
I had a panic attack not panic, but I freaked out. During the episode, we are recording, right? And on our screens in the left upper corner, there's a red dot that's pulsing, right?
Yeah, the record.
Yeah, the record, right? Yeah. So I'm looking at your feed, right?
Okay.
And the red dot is...
yeah, I've never noticed that. It's inside the window. I'm looking at the record above.
No. There's a red dot pulsing. Yeah. So I'm looking at it as, why there's a red dot in your thing?
You've never noticed it
No,
before?
and I completely got distracted. I'm not even listening to our guesses. I'm focusing on the red dot. And then I'm looking at you, and I was like, where's the red dot? Why is the red dot pulsing? Where's the red dot reflecting? I didn't think it was from the software. I thought there was a reflection in the camera. You have something pulsing.
Oh, I thought maybe
it was behind. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure if you watch YouTube, you're going to see that my eyes are all over the room. I'm trying to find the red dot. Talk about ADHD.
Never mind. I'm just gonna bring up a Seinfeld reference about the red dot. If you're a Seinfeld, you know what I'm talking about. All right. So we are no longer living in our flow state. No. You were not in the flow state.
No, I was not in the flow state. I got dragged. The red dot dragged me out of the flow state. That's why I was like, I have to say it. I have to tell this story. This is ridiculous.
That's funny. No, it's always been there. Yeah. And have you ever brought your cursor up to it?
No.
See, if you bring your cursor up to it, for everybody out there who is looking into Riverside, it says actual recording, like a pop-up.
Oh, yeah.
Actual recording is higher quality. They're talking about how it sounds, not the content. Yeah. So I knew that.
Anyway,
I've known that's been there for a while.
Of course you did.
So
I should have asked you.
Only because I moved my cursor around to find stuff.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Yeah.
That's why you're amazing.
Sure. One of the many reasons. But we brought up.
So what a great conversation, and almost it didn't happen because of my stupidity.
What? Because of the The red dot? Or something
No,
else?
because of me not making it
You're
here.
having a rough day. I'm glad I'm getting out of here early.
It is a rough day.
Yeah. You forgot your laptop, and then you're,
Do you ever find yourself in a spot like this when you go do something and you forget why you are in this moment?
I did not bring so I couldn't find my notebook that I have previous notes from, that I take notes during the episode from.
Yeah.
And in my head, it was sitting on my kitchen table. And then, so I went home. Like I left. I live very close to the academy and where we record. So I went home.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there. And then I was backtracking and thinking, and I was like, oh, I must have left it in the studio last night. And where we record, the recording studio, not the academy. So I came and it wasn't here. And I was like, I looked in the offices already. It's not there. And sure enough, I walked back into the office and there it was sitting on the desk. So yeah, I'm in that. I do that type of stuff all the time. So we're having a very similar day. I just didn't want to bring it up.
Man.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not, and Rob was talking about at one point, like he loves jiu-jitsu because you can get into the flow state and it takes you out of life. And he called it the whirlwind of life, like the distractions, all that stuff that's constantly coming at you, that people live in and never escape. And I think that's one of the great things about jiu-jitsu, and you hear people say it all the time. Like, and I think that's what they mean sometimes when they're like, "Oh, it's my therapy." All the different things they say about it, but it really boils down to the fact that it's an escape.
Yeah.
And it's something that you can get away from everything, leave it all at the edge of the mat or outside the door, and then you have your good or your bad class or roles. And if you can wrap your head around the stuff that the bad ones are going to make you better, if you're at that point in your jiu-jitsu, or that's how you live your life, that escape can like resets. So now you can go back out into that madness and cope with it, right? And hopefully bring some of it. I like to think that I can bring some of it into that madness with me, so that I can make that stuff better, that day better, less maddening, less distracting, less annoying, so you can handle the real things a little easier.
Yeah, you know who says the it's my therapy phrase?
Yeah, well, a couple people, but go ahead.
Tony.
Tony.
By the way, shout out to Tony. He got his black belt.
Tony Vargas just got his black belt.
Black belt over the weekend. What an amazing moment. Yeah. But talk about that flow state, right? Like I think we all need that in some capacity, and we use different mediums to achieve this, right? Some love meditation, others love to a physical workouts. Many consider going lifting as that flow state right there, where you completely disconnect from reality of life. Others love to journal and read books, and even after in some silly way, I would even recognize like watching TV as a flow state, in a sense of you disconnect from reality of life. You're just kind of floating into whatever that bubble is, right? But I think we need to ask ourselves how beneficial that flow state is and what's the purpose of it. And I think this is where jiu-jitsu comes in really handy, having that physical and mental stimulation, disconnecting from reality of life, achieving something purposeful while you're hanging out with the people you love.
Yeah, if you're sitting in front of the TV and you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling because you can't find anything that captures your interest, I think that likens itself more to those distractions that are out there.
Yeah, perhaps. But look, I mean, that flow state is a distraction. It's a positive one, but it is a distraction.
Right.
It is a distraction.
It is a distraction, but I feel like it's beneficial.
Yes, absolutely.
How many times are you late or running out the door because you spent the last 10 minutes instead of getting ready scrolling on Instagram?
Yeah. How many times you're running out the window? The window. How many times How many times you're running out the door because you cut extra raw and you were in a flow state and lost track of time?
I never lose track of time. It's just that
you're not in a flow state.
No, they know that when I say it only happens like on open mats, Sunday open mat. It's like, what time will we be home? 10:30. Well, she knows that that's really 11. She knows, you know what I mean? So yeah.
So I have like a phrase that I use. Either I'm on the way or I'm leaving, and leaving means I'm not in the car yet.
Right.
I'm leaving. That could be anything from getting off the mat to
No, I don't say
putting my
leaving.
shoes on. Like this is a process of leaving. But
No, leaving is when I'm actually like physically moving. I'm either out the door or
so
in
you're
the car.
about
I'm
to leave.
leaving. No, but I give the leaving in 10. Like leaving in 10, and that 10 could be 20.
Yeah.
It could be 20, but it's a starting point. But getting back to what we're supposed to be talking about.
So what is so beneficial about the flow state? What is so beneficial?
I believe it lets you decompress from everything that's bothering you. You know, everything that is irritating, everything that is annoying, being thrown at you that you don't want to deal with. Whether you need to deal with it because it's it's something that's important that you have to deal with, but you're getting away from it, you're taking a break, and you're gonna, like I said, reset and go back and tackle it. Or if it's the nonsense that you're bombarded with that you just don't really need in your life, it's not there for 5 minutes at a time, 7-8 minutes at a time. And I think that that's how you benefit from it, is just living in it, being present in it.
How would you describe a flow state for those who have not experienced that yet?
Well, as far as my jiu-jitsu goes,
it's amazing.
I'm still working so hard all the time that I don't achieve it very often. But I think it's just in that time frame where you're answering the challenges, you're navigating the obstacles, and you're achieving the things you're setting out to achieve without having to really, really think about it so much. Where it's not, okay, I'm here. It's not steps anymore. Like I need to do ABC to accomplish this sweep, or to pass the guard, or to finish this submission. It's more of, I know where I'm at. I know where I need to go, and making it happen in the moment, in real time, in the present. And then you've achieved it, right? And then at some point, your partner achieves it, and you're no longer in it, or you're in it for the whole 5 minutes somehow.
Is that more physical or mental?
It's more mental. I think like I was saying, the steps. I think you need to get those steps down. You get the fundamentals down. You get your game, in quotes. And that to me is the physical part of it. And once you have all that, and you can start linking it all together, and you don't have to think, then it's mental. And that's where it really happens, is in the mental, not so much in the physical.
Do you think anybody can achieve the flow state?
You speaking strictly jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, that's what we are talking about, right?
No, I don't know. If you do, well, I'm projecting, but if you did, why would you quit? And people quit.
But
so
is a flow state a requirement in order for you to not to quit?
No, you can be stubborn, but I think it's different for everybody too. So I can't say that what it is for me is for everyone else.
Yeah. That's a good point.
There's guys out there that'll bench press you right off instead of doing technique. And that might be that for them, that little success, that escape from bottom side. And all they did was throw you off, and that might be it for them. I don't know. I'm not in their head, but I know for me that it has to be that almost effortless. That point where you're sweeping somebody and you got it. You like it. They're weightless. this still happens for me. But for, you know what I'm talking about, though? I'm sure it used to happen for you in the past. And I'm not slamming you. It's just, it happens so much now and has for so long for you. I don't know if you still have that feeling.
You're stuttering.
Oh, I'm trying to take myself out of a hole. Do you remember that feeling? But like, okay, you're going for a sweep, and they're light as a feather. It's that, but extended for me, if that makes sense. It's knowing that everything that it's not even knowing. It's everything you've done in preparation up to this point is working, and you don't have to think about it. You're just executing it, and then that's it. You know.
So it sounds like it's almost removing the constraints of movement and resistance in order to make free decisions as you reach towards the goal that you have established for yourself at that point of time, and that freedom of mental and physical movement while all of this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're describing?
I think so.
Because you should have just said it that way.
Well, I had to give you the outlines so you can condense it.
This is why we are a great team.
Sure.
But on a serious note,
what is it for you?
I think what I just described.
Yeah.
What I just described. It's a combination of both physical and mental state in which the limitation and constraints are not removed, like completely. They're not gone, but you are able to free yourself from the limitations and control points where you can move freely in the space, mentally and physically, while your partner is doing whatever they are doing, and you have the answers.
Yeah.
You know, and oftentimes I feel like this is described as he's 3 steps ahead of me, or he can read my mind. This is where that person is in the flow stage, meaning no matter what you do, somehow magically they manipulate the situation to their benefit. And no matter what you're trying to do, they still benefit from it. And it feels like it's almost effortless. It feels like they're not even trying. It feels like you feel stupid almost, in a sense of no matter what you do, you're powerless. And I guess what I was trying to say earlier is I hope that everybody reaches that point, because that's the most beautiful part of jiu-jitsu. The moment where you're not trying, you're just doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not putting a physical effort into movement. The movement just happens. It's a flow. It's almost like elevating yourself. I don't remember somebody said this on the show, and I don't remember who it was. They talked about flow training and flowing, and it's almost like elevating yourself out of your body, having the out of body experience, in the sense of you just watching how these two objects move together, and you can just almost like watch it from farther out. You know, that's kind of deep, sounds deep, but the point is that the moment we can achieve that, we can disconnect from the frictions, we can disconnect from the obstacles, we can disconnect from the things that tie us back, tie us down. And I think what's important in a conversation like this, what's important to acknowledge in a conversation like this, that could be part of the training. It could be part of you getting better, try to achieve state like this, state of freedom, state of flow. Or also, this could be very beneficial for you to disconnect from reality of life. We all have jobs, professions, families. We all have problems. Life is not easy. Life shouldn't be easy. And everybody who tells you it is probably lying to you, in my opinion at least. Life should be hard, should have obstacles. This is how we grow. But we need that time to disconnect. We need us time. We need me time. And oftentimes, jiu-jitsu provides that. So however you like to use the flow state, I say do it, because in my opinion, only healthy things come out of it.
All right. Let's leave it there, because I'm going to open a box of worms if I say so.
Later,
right,
buddy.
yeah.
Later.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.